Welcome back once again to Joe the Shirts Off the Cuff. Thought I'd give the song a little more time. An excessively long intro. I mean, it was almost a full minute before anybody started singing. For a second there, I thought I was like watching a movie from India. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. Joe the Shirt's Off the Cuff. I'm your host, Joe the Shirt. And as today's show title lets you know, you keep getting it wrong. But we're going to get into that because I like to bury the lead, as the case may be. We're going to start out with some lighter fare. We're going to start out with some celebrity birthdays, which is one of my favorite things to do for two reasons. Actually, three. One, I like knowing which celebrities were born when. I just find it interesting. I also like to see, which celebrities are born on the same day that couldn't be more different. Once again, proving that astrology is bullshit. And I know that you guys like listening to it too. You can all make believe you don't care, but I know you really do. Anyway, start out with yesterday's birthdays because I was not on yesterday. If your birthday was October 3rd, you share birthdays with Gwen Stefani, who turned 44 years old. My gosh, she's still looking hot. Sean William Scott turned 37. You remember him from the American Pie movies. And also The Goon and a bunch of other shit. Rocker Tommy Lee and his ridiculously large dick are 51 years old yesterday. Nev Campbell is 40. If that doesn't make you feel old, I don't know what does. Ashley Simpson turned 29. India Arie turned 38. Al Sharpton is only 59. How is that possible? I mean, I thought he was 59 when I was 9. The very sexy Clive Owen is 49 years old. You think he's sexy, babe? Yeah. Clive Owen? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Chubby Checker turned 72 years old. Jack Wagner turned 54. Now, a lot of you guys out there don't know who Jack Wagner is, but I'm almost willing to bet my girlfriend does. From the Bold and the Beautiful fame. That's right, General Hospital, all that, yeah. I used to work on that show as a page, and he was a really nice guy, actually. Greg Probst is 54, and Dave Winfield, MLB star, 12-time All-Star, turned 62. And now we're going to do today's celebrity birthdays, this being October 4th. Let's see, Derrick Rose is 25 years old of the Chicago Bulls. He's the guy that took over a year off. Even though, 8 months into it, they told him he could go back and play. But no, he wanted to make sure he was back to full health. Selfish cocksucker. Sorry, Derek. That just slipped out. I'm sorry. Russell Simmons is 56. Alicia Silverstone turned 37 today. Okay? And Susan Sarandon turned 67. How sad is it? I still want to bang a senior citizen. I think Susan Sarandon's fucking hot, and I'd still bang her to this day. Christoph Waltz is 57. You remember him from Django Unchained, Inglourious Bastards, winning awards up the ass. He's doing well for himself. Liv Schreiber turned 46. Anne Rice is 72 of all those vampire movies and books and all that good shit. Yeah, 72. Can you believe that? AC Green of the Lakers, an ex-Laker, turned 50 today. Jackie Collins turned 76. Yeah, exactly. Wide-eyed on that one. And this is something I don't normally do. I don't do dead celebrities, but this is somebody I actually met while he was still alive, and such a class act, and I wanted to mention him. Charlton Heston had a birthday today. I met him when I was considerably younger, working as a page over at CBS, and my job was to, make sure that the guest got into the show. He was appearing on the Bill Maher show, Politically Incorrect, if you remember that show at all. And, my job was to make sure that my crew got him to the show, and we provided security and stability to the crowd because they got a little unruly every once in a while. And Charlton Heston is walking down the hallway, and I'm I'm standing there doing my job, just my back up against the wall, facing forward, not making eye contact, because apparently that's a big deal among the studios. Don't make eye contact with the stars, because apparently they're like, I don't know, cows and get, easily spooked. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. But, he's walking along. He's talking to his assistant or whatever, and he's walking along. And he goes out of his way to cross the hallway to come to me and extends his hand out to me. And he goes, "Hello, my name is Charlton." And I'm like, "Hello, sir, my name is Joe." He was a pleasure to meet you, Joe. You too, Charlton. And then from there, he just went in and I'm like, what a class act that is. For a star of the magnitude, the caliber of Charlton Heston, a legend in his own right, to just go out of the way to just say hello to some kid wearing an ugly red jacket, making sure that there are no nuts trying to get at, Bill Maher, which there were a few, by the way. That's a different story for a different day. But Charlton Heston, people, class act all the way. You damn dirty apes. That's right, I said it. Okay, before we get into the serious stuff of what you keep getting wrong, let's do a couple of light stories, I think. I want to do a few light stories. The holidays are coming, believe it or not. There's already stuff in the stores for Christmas, toys especially. And there's apparently an old trend is coming back, disgusting toys. Typically speaking, disgusting toys are aimed at children with penises. Because girls really don't like disgusting toys that much. I mean, they do get disgusting toys, but they're not advertised as such. Like, girls typically get, dolls that wet themselves. I don't know why you would want that exactly. I don't know. On what planet did somebody decide, it would be a good idea? Let's make a doll that actually pisses herself. Great idea, Jim. Let's run with it. Maybe you can get it to wake up every 2 hours in the middle of the night and cry and maybe vomit spontaneously. And if we can get some dark chocolate pudding inside her, we've got a winner. But but no, we don't. They don't advertise it to that way to girls. They just But for boys, they go full out. It's disgusting. Okay, now let me put it this way: it's so disgusting they actually put the word "disgusting" in the name of the toy. Here's one for you: disgusting electronic pets. Something called the Uglies, made by Moose Toys. They fart, they burp, and make about 30 other repulsive noises. There's Yucky Toy Balls by Horriballs, by Vivid Imaginations, which are plush toys that make sounds like farts, burps, or screams when tossed. There's Smelly Fart Machine. Yeah, that's not clever or anything. They're letting you know exactly what it does. The Despicable Me 2 Fart Blaster looks like a cross between a gun and a megaphone and blasts loud farting sounds and emits the scent of bananas. Yeah, I know. There's the Icky Science Kit. If you're eager to make your own fake snot, the Wacky Lab Disgusting, there it is again, Disgusting Science Kit by EduScience is for you. There's the Farting Piano. Again, there's no subtext here. They're letting you know exactly what it does. You can play this piano, but instead of piano keys, each different key has a different fart sound coming out of it. And finally, there's Poo-Doh. That's right. Not Play-Doh, Poo-Doh. It's modeling clay that looks just like real poo. Fortunately, it doesn't smell like that. It actually smells more like vanilla. And those are the toys your little boys will be asking you for in a couple of weeks or months or whatever. Oh my God, the boys really are repulsive. Let's move on quickly to sports. I like sports. Now, anybody that knows me, excuse me, I need some beer. If you know me, you know what my favorite sport is in the whole world. Baby, what's my favorite sport?
Basketball.
Basketball, exactly. Number one sport for me. I can play it. I played it well when I was younger. I cannot play it as well as I used to, but I still enjoy watching it. I still enjoy going out and shooting around every once in a while. I love it. Commissioner David Stern is trying to, once again, grow the reach of the NBA into the rest of the world, and was once again scheduling games in other parts of the world. Real regular season NBA games, not like exhibitions. These are real games that really count towards the end for the championship runs. Okay, let me read you a few of these here. And they start this month, by the way. Now, this month they won't count because these will be exhibitions. But starting in after November, they will. But they'll be playing, let's see, the Oklahoma City Thunder will be playing Fenerbahce Ulker at the Ulker Sports Arena in Istanbul. Philadelphia 76ers will play the Bilbao Basket in Vizcaya Arena, Bilbao, Spain. The Houston Rockets will play the Indiana Mall. They'll play the Indiana Pacers at the Mall of Asia Arena in Manila. Indiana Pacers will play the Houston Rockets at the Taipei Arena in Taiwan. The LA Lakers will play the Golden State Warriors at the Mercedes-Benz Arena in Shanghai. And these next two are actual games that will count for the season. Minnesota Timberwolves play the San Antonio Spurs at the Mexico City Arena in Mexico City on December 4th. And the Atlanta Hawks will play the Brooklyn Nets. Yes, Brooklyn Nets in London. So, you know what? I think, this is my personal opinion, I think the NBA season is long and arduous enough as it is. And it's tough enough to travel from New York to California, okay? I don't think you should be making these guys travel from, say, California to China to play a game. You know what? The technology of travel has not gotten fast enough yet where it makes sense. You know, if it was like a 5-hour flight, yeah, sure, why not? Do it. You know, it's basically the same way from, L.A. to New York to L.A. It's about 5 hours. But when you have to make your team fly 16 hours one way, 18 hours the other way, and with a quick turnaround time, I don't think that's fair I don't think it's fair to the players. I don't know, just me. I know a lot of you don't care about this, but this is something that was on my mind. Let's see what else we got before we get into the meat of all this today. Here's a real quick quickie for you guys. Let's see. The FBI is referring fewer and fewer white-collar cases to prosecutors to prosecute. Now, why is that? Because probably a lot of you guys are wondering out there, why hasn't anyone on Wall Street gone to prison for the 2008 financial crisis? I mean, those guys fucked up. And when these guys fuck up, it's not like somebody mugged you. Okay, you lost your wallet, you lost your driver's license, your credit cards, some cash, no big deal, When these guys fuck up, we're talking about entire towns go bankrupt. Entire, families go homeless. But nobody goes after these guys at all. According to this, the FBI has referred only 2,001 white-collar cases for criminal prosecution so far this fiscal year, on pace for nearly 7% drop from the previous year. And that trend will continue. Now, the FBI will tell you that the reason that they're doing this is because they have more important cases to look into, terrorism being among them, bank robberies being another, high-profile kidnapping cases, serial killers, which is all well and good because those are the ones that grab the titles, the headlines in the paper. But the fact of the matter is, these guys, the ones that are fucking you over financially, are the ones that are really hurting you the most. And they've basically decided that, well, you know what, we're not going to chase after them anymore because nobody got physically hurt. That's usually what it comes down to, because nobody got physically hurt. Nobody's getting physically hurt. Nobody was physically threatened. Then these crimes are considered of less importance and not worth going after. And even when they do go after them, what do? They fine them. That's what they give them a fine, or they send them to one of these clubhouse style prisons, country club prisons where all they do all day is like play golf. Literally, there are prisons where prisoners can play golf, tennis. They call them country club prisons for a reason. minimum security. They're able to leave the premises to go work, quote unquote. But no. Let's just continue to ignore this. Why don't we? In any case, it is time for the first break of the show. Today's music is brought to you by Ant on Wax. You heard their first song, Mahold. Considering my long-standing tradition of putting on whatever I want to play. This next song by Ant on Wax is called Loser. I'm Joe the Shirt. I'm off the cuff, and I'll be right back. Joe the Shirt is once again back and off the cuff. And once again, Ant on Wax takes over a minute before they start their lyrics. The intro's too long, man. You gotta step it up a bit. All we hear is the intro. Anyway. Okay. As for You Keep Getting It Wrong. Okay. Are any of you familiar with Myanmar? Anybody? Raise your hand if you know. Anybody? Bueller? No? Okay. Myanmar, also known as Burma, is a country in southern Asia, very close to India, that is, for the most part, not Muslim. But it does have a few Muslims in there. A lot of, there's a few here and there. Some Muslims have been there for generations. And recently, now by recent, I mean the most recent news, but it's been going on for about the last few years. The majority of people in Myanmar, also known as Burma, have been attacking Muslims. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking to yourselves, well, good. Show them what it feels like. And they are attacking the Muslims because they are, in fact, Muslims. No other reason other than the fact that they are of a different faith than the majority of the people in Burma. And these attacks have taken on the form of setting people's houses on fire, beatings, and attacks with machetes and swords. We're talking about decapitations. We're talking about hundreds of people have been killed. Several thousands have been displaced, forced out of their homes, forced away from their property, their farms, their jobs, physically forced, threatened, and in many cases murdered. Now, what makes this story really, really interesting to me is that the people that are doing this to them are Buddhist. Now, that shocked me as much as anything I've heard recently, because my last understanding of Buddhism was that they are, for the most part, a very non-violent religion. You don't typically hear about Buddhists, strapping on, 20 pounds of TNT and walking into the mall. You don't hear about that too often. You don't hear about Buddhists, sending a video to the government, letting them know that if they don't, recognize karma, they're going to kill everybody. You don't see that too often. So this was a bit of a shock even for me. And this is where I say you keep getting it wrong. Now, I don't know much about Buddhism. I didn't know much about it today. My ex-wife practiced a lot of yoga. She believed in karma. Though I'm pretty sure if you asked her to like pick out Buddha in a lineup, she couldn't do it. But then again, for the longest time, neither could I, because when I think of Buddha, I just think of some big fat bald guy, sitting on his ass, smiling all day long, most likely because he's big and he's fat. Anyway, so I looked up Buddhism, and this is according to Wikipedia, which is a decently reliable source of information. And here's what we got. Buddhism is a religion indigenous to the Indian subcontinent that encompasses a variety of traditions, beliefs, and practices largely based on the teachings attributed to Siddhartha Gautama, who is commonly known as the Buddha. Now, the Buddha is actually not a name per se, it's actually a title. It refers to the awakened one. Now, the Buddha lived and taught in the eastern part of the Indian subcontinent sometime between the 6th and 4th centuries BCE. He is recognized by Buddhists as an awakened or enlightened teacher who shared his insights to help sentient beings and end their sufferings. Suffering referring to something called dukkha. Through the elimination of ignorance, which is also known as avidya, by way of understanding and seeing of dependent origination. I'm not even going to try to pronounce what the fuck that says. And the elimination of desire, taha. And thus the attainment of the cessation of all suffering known as the sublime state of, this word, nirvana. Okay. Didn't see anything about setting people's houses on fires or machetes in that anywhere. Did you guys catch a little subtext in there that indicated machetes, swords, fires, and murdering people? Anybody? Anybody at all? Okay. When you think of Buddha, and Buddha here, let's see, 6th century and 4th century BCE. That means he predates Christ. He was before that. Okay? But in a lot of ways, Buddha is, the Indian Asian version of Jesus Christ or Muhammad, or for some Jews, Moses. So this is, Are you giving me a face over there? Okay. All right. But this is basically what he is. And like most of these guys, like Muhammad or Jesus, he had a lot of great ideas that he tried to teach to people. And then people loved those ideas, and they took those ideas in. And then they felt that they needed to make sure everybody else believed those ideas as well. So they went and they introduced those ideas to people. But then when those other people didn't accept the obvious knowledge and wisdom of these ideas, well, now we got to kill them. Which I'm pretty sure Jesus and Buddha and Muhammad didn't say to do. But people go out and do it anyway. Now let's take a look at some principles of Buddhism. I'm not going to talk about karma, because everybody knows how I feel about karma. I'll get back to it later if I have time, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Okay, we're going to talk about dukkha, which is also known as suffering. 4 basic tenets here. The truth of dukkha, suffering, anxiety, unsatisfactoriness. The truth of the origin of dukkha. The truth of the cessation of dukkha. And the truth of the path leading to the cessation of dukkha. It's a lot of dukkha out there. But they're trying to stop suffering, anxiety, and unsatisfactoriness. Still don't see how burning somebody's house down or killing them with machetes fits in there. All right, let me take a look at the next one. Other list of tenets here. The 4 immeasurables. Okay. The 4 immeasurables are taught as a form of meditation that cultivates wholesome attitudes towards all sentient beings. Let me repeat that for you guys out there. The 4 immeasurables are taught as a form of meditation that cultivates, quote, wholesome attitudes towards all sentient beings, end quote. That's what it says. And those 4 are, may all sentient beings have happiness in its causes. That's nice. I like that. That's very nice. Number 2, may all sentient beings be free of suffering and its causes. Which, once again, burning someone's house down and killing them with machetes Kind of negates that right there. Number 3, may all sentient beings never be separated from bliss without suffering. Again, machetes, fire, doesn't work there. And 4, may all sentient beings be in equanimity, free of bias, attachment, and anger. Now, I'm pretty sure if someone's burning down my house and cutting my balls off with a machete, he's probably pretty angry at me for something. Now, seriously, Dad, he's in a good mood necessarily, unless he's some sort of psychopath out there. Joe, I love you. I'm killing you. I doubt that's the way it works here. All right. There's another one in here that I wanted to bring up, and let's see. What is it here? Let's see. No. There's one more here that I wanted to get out there to you guys because I felt this one was actually really quite important. But as you can see, nowhere does the Buddha or Buddhism tell you to go out and kill people because they're not of your religion. It does ask you to go and teach them, to go inform them. But if they decide not to accept what you have to say, then you just let it be and you'll be good. Let's see if I can get that one here. Oh my God, I want to see. There was one more here that I want to get here. Let's see, practices. Let's try that. Devotion, no. Meditation, refuge, no. The Buddha, the Sangha, the Sila. Ah, damn it. Now I lost one that I was really, really interested in. But you know what? I don't always know everything. But still, though, what I think that really the whole point that I'm trying to make here is that they're getting it wrong. That's really what it all boils down to. Now, I recently did a show about Alcoholics Anonymous, and one of my listeners, Thinkerbell, wrote to me and said that it's not so much that I have a problem with Alcoholics Anonymous as much as I have a problem with God. And to this I say, no, I cannot have a problem with something that doesn't exist. But I do understand the concept of religion. And in and of itself, I've never said that religion is a bad thing. You read the basic tenets of Buddhism, all good stuff. Judaism, lots of great stuff. Christianity, awesome stuff. Islam, good stuff. It's all about love and understanding and acceptance and letting God lead you, to what it is you're doing, or the universe, or the energies, or the force, okay? Whatever. But at no point do any of these religions go out and tell you to fuck other people up because they don't agree with you. If anything, it tells you to love them even more, to accept them, to not worry about it. That the God, universe, or once again, the force, will figure it out on its own. So, I don't have a problem with God. I can't have a problem with something that doesn't exist. I do have a problem with religion. Thinkerbell, you were close on that. No, I don't have a problem with God. Problem with religion. Dogmas, ideologies, tenets, whatever, beliefs, faiths, whatever you want to call it. That's what I have a problem with. Because people tend to distort the ideas. I'm sure if someday when they make the Matrix 47, Neo will be asking people to kill their neighbors in his name. I'm sure that's what people will believe. In any case, it's time for me to take a little break right here. I've gone off on the supernatural just enough, I think, for today. We'll come back with some more mundane stories. How about that? And meanwhile, here's more Ant on Wax and his song, Information. Hopefully it won't take over a minute to get to the lyrics. I'm Joe the Shirt. I'm off the cuff, and I'll be right back. Once again, Joe the Shirt is off the cuff. Welcome back, everybody. Enough religion for one day, I think. Let's talk about something that's like religion, Candy Crush. Are those of you out there who are listening through your computer, which is pretty much all of you, don't act like you don't know what Candy Crush is, all right? You know what it is. You've played it. You've been invited to play it. You've been asked to help play it. You've been asked for favors and lives and moves, and you know what I'm talking about. Don't act like you don't. Now, I, for the longest time, avoided these type of games on Facebook because, for the most part, I don't really care for Candy Crush. I'll tell you the absolute truth. I find it boring. Okay, Candy Crush Saga, boring. Farmville Saga, boring. Fruit Saga, whatever the fuck. It's a whole bunch of sagas. I find most of them really, really boring. I like, was it Papa Pear? I like that game. Saga. Papa Pear Saga. I like Bubble Witch Saga. I like that game, but it's based on like a game from way back in the 80s. It's not really a new idea, but it's there. But, everybody always talks about, everybody's playing these games. And I didn't really know just how widely spread it was until today when I saw this in the paper from USA Today's, from yesterday's paper. No, Wednesday's paper, excuse me. And I actually didn't even buy the paper. My girlfriend bought this paper. She wanted it for the puzzles and such. But there are some statistics in here about Candy Crush and the people that make the game, King.com, their CEO, Riccardo Zacconi. Now, here's some numbers for those of you out there who may have some idea of how popular this shit is. King by the numbers, 30 billion. That's the game plays per month on all King games across Facebook, mobile, and King.com. 30 billion per month. 700 million times a day, Candy Crush Saga is played across Android and iOS devices. 100 million daily Candy Crush players across mobile, Facebook, and King.com. 100 million. Also known as about a third of the U.S. population. 53 million daily active players of Candy Crush Saga. Daily. 47 million fans on Candy Crush Facebook fan page. I have 34. I don't mean million. I mean 34. They employ 550 people. And according to this, if you're playing Candy Crush, level 65 is the most difficult level. And 18% of people admit that they actually play Candy Crush Saga while in bed. And it's also ranked as the number one game on as an app and on Facebook. Candy Crush. Now, for months upon months, this game has been going on. I said I didn't play it. I wasn't interested in it. My girlfriend likes these games. I don't hold that against her. But, she played it. And one day, I don't know if she asked me to play it or someone else did, or I just started to play it on my own to see what the whole hoopla is. And I played it. And I went through like 20 levels in one day. In 3 hours, actually. I mean, it's a pretty easy game up to a point. And I'm playing it, and I keep playing it not because I was entertained, but because I wanted to see if anything else happens. And I'm playing it, and after a while, I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is really it. This sucks. Now, according to what my girlfriend told me, that scientifically, it's been proven that the colors, the combination of colors, and the music on the game and the sounds on the game actually hypnotizes people into playing it. Apparently, I'm not one of those people. I played it, I tried it, I didn't like it, but you guys out there, hundreds of millions of you, continue to play. And hey, much like religion, as long as you don't bother me with it, I'm good. Stop inviting me to help you out, and stop inviting me to help you play and get more lives. Well, not my girlfriend. I'm going to keep helping her because, I like to get some occasionally. So, when she asks me for, help on Candy Crush, I'll send her help. Candy Crush and Papa Pear and Farmville and whatever the fuck. I'll keep doing it. Now a little, I'm going to drop a quick science one on you. The very first artificial pancreas has been approved. Now, a lot of you out there don't know what a pancreas is. Those of us who have had acute pancreatitis at one time or another in our lives know exactly what the fuck it is. It's this itty-bitty little organ in your back, in your upper back. It's not very big. It helps with digestion of sugars, fats, proteins, and all sorts of things that come through it. And when it doesn't work, it becomes inflamed, it overproduces, you become bloated, you can't fart, you can't shit, and you have a distended belly, and in some cases can be developed into pancreatic cancer. Not a good thing. This is what one of my favorite comics died of, pancreatic cancer. Bill Hicks died of pancreatic cancer. And now, you should be able to get a artificial pancreas in the next couple of years. So, look forward to that. Those of you who drink way too much and eat way too much fat and sugar. You know what? I thought I was done talking about Miley Cyrus, but apparently I'm not. Who'd have thought, right? I'm not done talking about her. With all the shit that went on in the music awards, and then she's got her new album coming out, and all this good stuff. Apparently, Miley Cyrus really admires, what's her fucking face? Sinead O'Connor. And apparently Sinead O'Connor does not admire Miley Cyrus at all. Out of the Los Angeles Times here, Sinead O'Connor, who according to this is no stranger to controversy, you may remember her songs Nothing Compares to You and Wrecking Ball, and you may remember her on SNL ripping up a picture of the Pope. Okay. According to her, in an open letter on her website on Thursday, O'Connor, 46, advised the 20-year-old singer to stop being, quote, prostituted, end quote, by the music industry. Quote, nothing but harm will come in the long run, she wrote, from allowing yourself to be exploited, and it is absolutely not in any way an empowerment of yourself or any other young women for you to send across the message that you are to be valued, even by you, more for your sexual appeal than your obvious talent. Now, when a 46-year-old hag like Sinead O'Connor writes something like this or says something like this, we got to keep it in perspective here. She's a 46-year-old hag. Her time has come and gone. No one's bought a Sinead O'Connor song on iTunes since, I don't know, 2000, I think. And she feels that she is somehow entitled to tell Miley Cyrus how to conduct herself and her business. That's well and good for you, Sinead O'Connor. Nobody wants to fuck you anymore. Miley Cyrus, I'd be at the head of the line. But that's me. And about 50 million other young men in this country and about another 200 million old perverted farts like myself. I'm sick and tired of people trying to tell you that being sexual is demeaning, that being sexual is not an empowerment. Back in the 70s and 80s and 60s even, everybody's trying to tell you that, the sexual revolution, they're trying to tell you that, owning your sexuality, being your sexual self is a part of you. It is a part of your power as a person, as a woman, as a human being to enjoy it, to use it. But then you have your feminist, very much like Sinead O'Connor, who's telling you that this is actually a detriment to you, that somehow this will hurt you, that this will not advance your life's goals. And that has proven to be wrong more often than not. I don't care for this kind of conjecture on Sinead O'Connor's part. I think that whatever Miley Cyrus feels that she needs to do to get where she wants to go, she should go ahead and do it. I don't think it demeans her in the slightest. You know, the only people that, like I said before, that should be worried about Miley Cyrus are Miley Cyrus and Billy Ray. That's about it right there. You know, but everybody else, really, mind your own fucking business. Sinead, you can go fuck yourself. Nobody wants to fuck you anyway. And finally, apparently, 40 state attorneys have sent a general letter to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, asking them to regulate electronic cigarettes. Apparently, the FDA has set a deadline of October 31st to issue proposals to regulate the devices known as e-cigarettes. But the agency has delayed the actions in the past. Now, the problem is because they don't know how to classify e-cigarettes. Because, yes, it does, in fact, have nicotine. And nicotine is, in fact, a drug, but it's not tobacco, which is what most people have been, you know, going up against for the last couple of decades, making sure that all smokers feel like they have the plague wherever they go. They're unwanted. You know, they're lepers is basically what smokers have become in our society. You know, you see a smoker coming, you feel okay coughing, even though you can't even smell the smoke, to let them know that you don't like that. You feel okay giving them dirty looks to make sure that they know that you don't want them smoking in their presence. And then if you have an e-cigarette, they feel okay talking to you and telling you that you really shouldn't smoke the e-cigarette in front of their children because it makes it seem as if it's okay to smoke an e-cigarette to your kids. Go fuck yourselves. I am tired of it. I'm sick and tired of everybody blaming everybody else for what's going wrong with your fucking kids. You're the parent. There's horrible shit going on every day. These self-same people that tell you not to smoke cigars and cigarettes and not to do drugs and not to smoke e-cigarettes are also, then again, just drinking beer after beer in front of their children. But, you know, they don't talk to them about that. They don't ask people to, like, stop showing drinking on TV, do they? I don't remember the last time I heard about that one. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too sensible for my own good. Maybe I'm just a little too logical. That could be it. I don't know. In any case, that is pretty much it, my time for today. Wanted to give out a big shout out to my friend Penny Cantu, who had a difficult time the other day. It's a topic that she and I have talked about many times. People who make fun of fat people, and I'm not going to get into it because it's too big an issue for me to just, you know, get into right now. So instead, I'll just tease you with it. Okay, we're going to be talking about fat people again. And yes, I am in fact guilty of making fun of fat people, but I do it differently than others. And we're going to get into that next time on Joe the Shirt's Off the Cuff. In the meanwhile, here's more of Anton Wax and their song, I Do What I Like. And so does Joe the Shirt. Later.
Do what you like and it makes you feel right. If only for a minute you could see with my eyes, you would find out how easy to be on the road.